Hi guys, this is take two. I got about 3 minutes into the last video and my dog started barking. And it wasn't just a little bark and then he was done. It was continual barking. He's just gone outside, so fingers crossed that even if he chooses to bark outside, he's not particularly loud. It's a bit different to barking right here in this room. So the purpose of this video is to talk to you about one of the 3 immutable laws, the law of correspondence. So there are 3 immutable hermetic laws that we talk about in the intuitive intelligence program. My version of that is Activate Your Intuitive Intelligence. It's based on this beautiful book. It's the work of this woman here, Dr. Ricky Jane Adams. And you might have seen that I went to Melbourne recently at the end of September to do the teacher training for the intuitive intelligence, and this is a program that she has developed and handed over to us, the 3rd level graduates who have decided that they would like to teach the intuitive intelligence program. So what I'm going to do is read a little section from this book. This is the guidebook. This is literally the handbook for intuitive intelligence. And I want to read to you a little bit about the law of correspondence and how it works, because you're going to be familiar with the concepts, but I want to just read this little section for you because I think it makes a whole lot of sense. This is a little taste test of just one part of what we do in the Activate Your Intuitive Intelligence program. He's starting again. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. I really don't want to have to re-record this. So in this book, on chapter 4, which is on the law of correspondence, there's a really cool section that it starts out with, and I want to read it to you today because I really think that this is a nice little taste test for you to get a bit of an understanding of why on earth we talk about the 3 immutable laws when we talk about activating your intuitive intelligence, because it's sort of like, why are we talking about these cosmic laws? I want to work on my intuition. I promise it's all relevant. So I want to read this to you. The law of correspondence is the 2nd law. So we have the law of mentalism, then we have the law of correspondence, then we have the law of vibration. You've probably heard about the law of vibration in some way, shape or form. But let's talk about the law of correspondence. Chapter 4, page 78 for those of you who are playing at home and have got a copy of this. The law of correspondence says, as above, so below, as within, so without. And so this 2nd law, the law of correspondence, what it means is that the thoughts and images that we hold in our conscious and subconscious mind will manifest their exact likeness in our external reality. So what that means is that whatever is in your conscious mind, which is about 5%, 5 to 10% is what you're consciously thinking. What your subconscious is that's 95%, 90 to 95% of your consciousness is subconscious. It's those things that happen based on our experiences, and if our conscious mind lets it into the subconscious is not picky or choosy, those subconscious fears, beliefs, those stories get stored in the subconscious and they inform our reality. So what I think is really important is the outside world, or the outer world, is a reflection of what is within us. And this law, the law of correspondence, like all of the cosmic laws, is impartial. And what that means is it works unceasingly for the good or the bad. It is completely impartial, much like the subconscious. So what we do here is, you might have seen me talking about fear a lot in the last, 6 to sort of 9 months thereabouts. The reason why I talk about fear is because anything that is not love is fear. And anything that is a fear is a subconscious unmet fear that's really sitting in our basement, in that subconscious basement. Ultimately, it is the belief in separation, the fear that we are separate from the infinite consciousness that is everything, We believe that we are finite, we believe that we are human, and that we are not part of that infinite consciousness. So if inside of us we have either conscious or subconscious beliefs that we are separate, that we are finite, that we are different, that we are not that infinite consciousness, we are going to, based on this law, the law of correspondence, we are going to have that reflected to us in the world around us. So it is our job to go and meet that fear, that belief in separation, the belief that we are not that divine, unlimited consciousness, and meet it every damn day. Because it is not one thing that you just, oh yeah, I believe that I'm, pure unlimited consciousness. That doesn't happen like that. It takes practice, it takes self-esteem, and it takes an ongoing commitment to know and believe and to trust that you are pure unlimited consciousness. That is the bounds of this book. If you literally have a look at the bottom here, what it says here, it says, are you ready to surrender to your unlimited self? Yeah, we might be prepared to accept the fact, but to actually believe it and to live it is a whole other kettle of fish. And that's where intuitive intelligence and spiritual self-esteem come into it. So I'll keep reading. So as I said, it's working unceasingly for the good or the bad. So the law of correspondence requires that we know that we are in partnership with the infinite, God, consciousness, the universe, call it whatever you will. In other words, we are not doing it alone. It does require absolute trust. For the law of correspondence to really come into what is known as right action, for it to come into right action and to work in our favor, we absolutely must possess self-esteem. This is why we began the process of activating our self-esteem in the previous section of this book. So if you do this program with me, you'll see what I mean by that. Because we absolutely need our spiritual self-esteem for this immutable law, the law of correspondence, to actually start making sense. So there's a lot in this, and it's very, very complex, but this chapter goes on to explain why we need to trust the infinite and what it has to do with self-esteem. Yeah, so this is one of the modules, just one of the modules in my Activate Your Intuitive Intelligence online program. It's 10 weeks. Just one of those weeks is spent on this particular law, the law of correspondence. So I wanted to give you a little taste test of that today, give you a little bit of an understanding. It's one of those things where at the moment you might just be open to considering the idea that you are pure unlimited consciousness, and that's okay. We're working towards that, and it takes practice. So I want to thank you for watching. If this tickles your fancy, please do click on the link below. Go and have a look at the program. Go and have a look at the different modules. I will continue sharing my weekly newsletter leading up to our start date on November 8th. I'm very excited. Little taste tests of bits and pieces that you can listen to get a bit of an idea of what it is that you're going to be learning. This is not a program just to learn how to be more intuitive. It is about intuitive intelligence, which is taking your intuition and turning it into a living, breathing, experiential experience is what I was going to say, into a living, breathing way of being. It's to experience it and to live it. It's no use being intuitive if you have zero spiritual self-esteem, because if you have intuition and you do not act upon it, you do not trust it, you do not follow through on it, then it is not helping you. It's like you've picked up the phone and you've got the message, but you're not doing anything with the message. Yeah? It's one of those things. So what I invite you to do from here is, if you feel perhaps you're at an intersection and you're sitting at the red light or you're approaching the intersection, and you might always turn left. That's your normal route to go to your destination, wherever it is that you're heading. And you have a bit of a nudge or an inkling to go straight or to turn right. Go straight and go right. Take that little nudge, that guidance, and trust it. And let go of needing to know why. You may never ever know why, and that is at the crux of spiritual self-esteem. It's receiving the information and trusting it, because this is non-local intuition in action. Also one of the topics that we cover in the Intuitive Intelligence program. What is non-local intuition and how does it work? There's lots of different types of intuition. That one's the one that most excites me, because it is how we access everything. We are literally, if we begin to understand that we are pure unlimited consciousness, we are that. We are exactly that. We are made up of, the part contains the whole. So the part is us and the whole is the universe, the infinite, call it what you want to, God, consciousness, whatever. The part, which is us, contains the whole. So how could we not have access to every piece of information? It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for listening in. If you would like to learn a little bit about increasing your intuition, I am running a webinar. You may have seen that in my newsletter. If you're on my newsletter list, you will have seen that I'm running a webinar on November 11. Sorry, no, wrong month. October 11th at 10 a.m. AEST. So that's Queensland time. We'll be on daylight savings by then. So that's 10 a.m. Queensland time. If you're on the east coast of Australia and you're in daylight savings, it'll be 11 a.m. for you. If you're in Adelaide, it's 10:30 a.m. And if you're in Perth, take a couple of hours off as well. New Zealand, a couple of hours on. All right, guys, that's it from me. I'd love to have you at the webinar. It's free. Please do come along, register your interest, get a bit more of a taste test. We're spending an hour together on intuition. Very exciting. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Get in touch, send me a message, hit reply to my newsletters, however you want to get in touch via my business page, whatever works for you. Otherwise, I'm going to see you soon. Take care. Have a great day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye for now.